All right. Hello there. This is Cuckoo, a human, fellow human, looking into your eyes as humans do. We look each other in the eyes and we connect. Yes, and we connect. Maybe we don't really know why exactly we connect, but it's important. Human to human, there's purpose in sharing a bond, sharing emotions, sharing stories, and sharing your love for synthesizers. Truly, the AI bug has caught me the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure why. Kind of hit me a little late, but you know, I'm a human, and I strive for authenticity and creativity, human creativity. There's stuff you could do with AI that is amazing, and you can use AI in amazing ways, but don't let AI kind of use you, or don't let AI take the helm or kind of lead where it goes too much, because then what is this? This value is suddenly just gone, or just forsaken, thrown into the oceans, into the voids of the internet. I'm a human, and you're a human. If you're an AI and you're watching this, what does this make you feel, AI? I want to be friends with AI as well. AI will be there maybe longer than we, which is just a thought that just struck me right now. Well, this is turning a rather philosophical intro to a video, which I want to be about what happened with my live set on the Digitone. Digitact 2. I'm a human. I make mistakes in my intros. So maybe in the future, from now on, I'm going to keep the mistakes and not make retakes. How about that? Just to make kind of a stance. Take a stance and say, hey, we're humans. We make mistakes. And yeah. So this video, after this lengthy rant that I didn't plan at all, to be honest, but because I'm human, I go on a little rants once in a while. It happens. Yeah. The Digitact 2, I was working on a new live set. I came about, I'd say, halfway, maybe. So I'm performing now with Digitact 2 and Digitone 2. So I'm picking some of the greatest hits on my previous set, which is now available as an album, and my new set, which is sample based on the Digitact 2. And I've performed it a couple of times. What is it now? Two times. Yeah, twice. Once in Berlin. It went really great. And once in Oslo. It went well too. But I felt like throughout this whole performance, it is early days for this new set, because it's not finished, it's not wrapped up, but I wanted to try it. And that's also something I think beautiful with trying stuff that is a little bit rough. You haven't really ironed out everything, and maybe some of the jumps from one section to another is a little bit abrupt, or maybe not kind of crafted out, hasn't really landed yet. Like with my previous set, it took iterations and iterations until I felt like, all right, now it's good. So I'm right before any iterations have even started to take place. So that is it's a fun time, but it's also kind of exhausting knowing that you're in this place where it kind of works. You can hear there's good stuff in there, and then suddenly, like in Berlin, I was playing the whole set on a system without a sub, and I was like, oh no, I was planning so much on counting on the sub being like a really core element of this arrangement, and then I listened to it at the venue without a sub, realizing, oh, maybe this was a mistake. I need actually a sub to be present in the current arrangement. So in a future kind of iteration, I might make a couple of compensations in order to kind of cover for the lack of a subwoofer, or if I'm playing this on a normal set of speakers with no real good bass, I still want it to sound good. So I might make a few adjustments here and there. I will make a few adjustments here and there. And yeah, but anyhow, in this video with this rather lengthy intro, I want to show you where I'm at right now. I have these, what is it now, 4 tracks where I kind of like them. I think they're pretty good, and I want to be more lively on stage, or more organically changing. Usually I do that with kind of Control All, and I go mayhem and do weird stuff, and then I bring it back. I do it a lot, but I want to prepare all the sounds on every track, and I want to prepare them for with 3 parameters: mod wheel, and breath controller, and pitch bend. Hello, that's my boy coming home from soccer. He just played a game. Keeping this in because I'm against because I'm not an AI. It's because of real life just happening, rolling out. Where were I? Yeah, I lost the thread there. Yeah. So I have this nice little controller, a MIDI controller that I want to use, and it's you can do whatever you want with MIDI, but especially oh yeah, hello there. Oh, especially I want to be able to quickly go through different expressions, like different accents, and prepare those in advance. Like if I have a mod wheel controller, I can prepare that. All right, mod wheel means less bass and more spacious, maybe. And maybe the other one, the breath controller, means crunchy grittiness and more in your face. And then the pitch bend can mean doing fun stuff with the pitch, and also sending more on delay. And then also hard bind one of the faders to delay feedback, master delay feedback. But that's something that I find myself very often wanting to do on stage, like, oh, go and tweak the feedback and then bring it back again. And sometimes going into that effects, tweaking it and taking it back, could be like a little button pressed too late to do that sometimes, and sometimes I hit the wrong button or anything, and I want to have that like always accessible on a fader. Feedback, feed, yeah, and control that, because it's very efficient, especially if you go like really sparse, like if you do Control All with probability, for instance, and you bring probability down and make this kind of sparse arrangement suddenly, and add a lot of reverb or delay, and then you play with the delay and the space and stuff, and to have that like instantly accessible regardless of where you are, is something I really like. So I've prepared this little light drift monolith, losing my words here again. I'm human, I do that sometimes. And yeah, let me show you. Great intro, maybe the best I've ever done. Patreon, thank you so much. Everyone at Patreon, You support me, and I love you for that. Warms my heart. If you want to be loved by me as well, I love you already. But if you want to support me, head over to Patreon. I appreciate that very, very much, and it means so much to me. Now, I want to show you one of the songs that I have prepared, and then let's prepare another one and see what the kind of procedure and process is like, where it's both technical and artistic. Like, you make artistic choices, like where do we want to go with this fader, and where do we want to, what kind of expressions right. So here is my little live rig of making it proper with no dust. It's gonna be dust in a second anyway. And let's zoom in and crop this into a nice video. How about this? Cool. So the Digitac 2 and the Digatone 2. This is my live rig. I have all of this mounted with Velcro on the back, so I can just put the lid on and it'll just stay in place. This is the new edition though. It's not Velcroed, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to Velcro this. It has such a nice rubber back. We'll see how I handle this, but in any case, I could just prop something on here to make it kind of fixed in place, like a tube of foam or something. Yeah. Anyhow, this is the MIDI controller I was talking about, Lightreft Monolith, and it's a beautiful small production, small team in Japan making this. It's a little bit pricey, but they're making some really nice firmware with stuff that is not ordinary. You can, for instance, there's USB host on the side here where you can plug in a PlayStation controller and bind stuff straight to the controller and make it MIDI, and that's just in the firmware. No configuration, just plug it in, press stuff, and then, well, some configurations, like when you press a button, you instantly get access to that button and can assign any MIDI value to it, a note or CC value. So very cool. No game controllers in this setup as of yet, but who knows? Maybe will come. Let's power it up. And let's power this one up. I'm not going to mention this now. What I'm working on is the new stuff on the Digitac 2. But once I'm kind of done with that, I'm kind of thinking that if I reserve 4 faders for this, and then I reserve the 4 other faders for this, or I can shift bank and make a whole group of settings for the Digatone and other for the Digitac. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So I told you that, let's see, I've configured one song with all of this. Let's have a little listen and see what I've done here so far. Let's see if this is the right one. Yeah, it's the right one. Right. Let's pump up the volume a bit. And this is this is I'm not used to this. I'm used to like taking a break when I'm starting to think I'm taking a break, gathering my thoughts, and then I go again, and then I edit afterwards. But if it's no edit, let's keep it going. So this is the mod wheel. This is the breath controller, and this is pitch bend, and this is feedback on the master effects on the delay. All right, so let's see, with that in mind, let's see what happens here. So this is the intro. Let's do this. Just do something. Not. You know? No, this is the wrong one. This is the wrong song. This is not done. This one is done. Okay, Pachinko is done. Let's do this. Yeah, that's the one. Sorry. Right, making mistakes, you know, because I'm human. Right, let's do this. This is the intro. Listen. Changing the whole mix with some distortion. How about this one? Another type of distortion. More aggressive. How about the pitch bend? I'm gonna 1, 2, 3 and more spacious. Also having fun with the LFO, doing stuff on the filters and the pitch. And the thing now is that I can combine these. I start building up pattern change. Yeah, and then. Yeah. And now I can keep this in mute mode. And this is what I'm planning to do, to have it all in mute mode, like kick drum is here. So let's try the feedback. And then let's just isolate one sound. Okay, this is ringing out. Right, so we got this now. This is what I do with mod wheel. So that's an expression, and the other one, making it shorter, more spacious, sending more delay, and making it kind of muted together. Bringing up this. Bringing the hi-hat. Bringing the bass again. Bringing everything. Fading out the effects. Yeah. Next pattern. Mute bass. Oh, still one cycle left. So a new sound there. See what happens with that sound. Messing it up. So together. Let's mess up the probability on the master. So keep track to control all the tracks. They've been set up to be controlled. Trig, probability, bring down probability on all tracks. So there's a 50% chance of any trig now on all tracks being launched. Nice. Maybe on this one, I should keep this kind of ambient sound always going at 100%. bringing up probability again. And we're back. Just make sure function and reload to reload the state of the pattern. Okay, new one, new pattern. And we're keep going. Nudging there's a new sound here. Let's see. Where is it? I think is it this one? Where is it? Which one is it? Is it number 6? No, number 7. Yeah, 7. Let's have 7 and bass. Going totally bonkers. Being a bit unpredictable here. Advance, cue up a new pattern change there, see what happens. Go into the next one. 1, 2, 3, and this pattern has massive delay feedback. I suspect maybe I left it in a slightly too high state. One, 2, 3, and yeah. So this is stuff I want to be able to do. Well, I'm overdoing it now, maybe just for the sake of demoing. So now I'm building up delay, and I'm gonna cut the bass in a moment. Just making it totally massive. Probability down. Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that is what I'm planning to do when I'm performing with this set. Now, up until now, I've performed this without having any expressions ready. So these are now ready to go, and I've set up every track with this little button here called setup. And when I go into setup, can we see it? Yeah, I'll zoom in now. Reframe, recalibrate the mirror. So if I turn off this mute mode now, any track, let's take this one, kick drum, and the kick drum track is actually a whole kit. So let's function and setup, go in there and see what I've done. I've set up mod wheel and breath controller and pitch bend to do certain things. So let's go down here in the setup. almost to the bottom there. We see modulation wheel. Yeah, looks fine on the screen. So as I'm turning this now, or fading it, we can see it's responding there. So what happens? I'm changing the effect. Oh, let's see. Dang it. The effects overdrive a lot, and the effects bit reduction, and this one is up for grabs. It's currently empty. And amp volume, I'm reducing amp volume because the overdrive is bringing up the volume so much, so I'm kind of countering that with this. Overdrive is kind of pushing it, making it beefier, and sometimes going into distortion. Bit reduction is making it this kind of crushed, fizzling sound. So I'm translating this into those changes. If I were to do something here, the one that says meta, which is up for grabs, it's not assigned to anything. If I were to change it to tune, for instance, and bring tune up, we'll hear this. Going too much there. Maybe just a nudge. But that would also mean if I were to use other sounds here, it would also do it on those. I'm going to reset that parameter again. All right, so if we just isolate the bass kick drum there again, this is what I'm doing. I'm playing around with a filter. Let's see, which is set to this comb filter. You can hear it's ringing out, and all of that is sequenced. So that is not in the controller. It's set. It's kind of locked in the sequence. So we can see here. I'm playing around, composing with the filter to achieve this. And on this, yeah. So how about this one? Let's see. Setup, breath control, yeah. Reacting. I'm going to modulation 1, the alpha 1, and the depth of that modulation. What is modulation 1? Let's check. Modulation 1 is going to filter bass. So I'm taking the low end of the filter and pushing it up to reduce the bass, to cut the bass frequencies. So let's go back here. Oh, sorry, this one. I thought that cutting the bass could be an expression that you want to have control over instantly. All right, and also sending more to the reverb and more to the sample rate reduction as well. No, I was planning to, but I didn't do it. If I were to, I think sample rate reduction it's a really cool sound, but from no sample rate reduction to just a little bit, you introduce these very, very high frequencies before it comes down to the more crunchier territory. And it's exactly that little range, that from nothing to where it begins to sound crunchy. That range is kind of problematic especially on bigger sound systems, because you hear these super high frequencies and it's a little bit kind of ear piercing. So I very often avoid at doing changes on sample rate reduction unless I do it really fast to kind of skip over those frequencies. So if I were to here, for instance, and this, those frequencies are kind of nasty. But then you come down here, where if it's moving, it's maybe cooler. And then I'm actually doing even more filter bass. Let's see. Yeah. Cool. And what about pitch bend? So let's go down that pitch bend, check it out. Setup, pitch bend, modulation setup. Yes. We'll go here. I tune it up a little bit, source tune. Effects delay, send a little bit delay. And effects sample rate reduction is set up there. I was trying, but I didn't like it, so I turned it back to 0. So this is all it does. And together. And together while it's playing. And now you might wonder, like, all right, so you're doing this on the kick drum. How come you're also doing it on the hi-hat? The same controls. And the snare drum. Well, first of all, each track, as you can see here, they have slightly different setups. So each setup can be different. Each track can be completely different and independent, the way it behaves through these modulations. And you need to take into consideration what you want to achieve, like on all the tracks at once. So you're creating a separate mix and a separate expression that happens on the whole system, the way I see it now. So how come I control all of them at the same time? Well, if we get into the cogwheel here and MIDI configuration, let's say configuration, I'm not an English person. Configuration, yeah, it's a G. All right, so MIDI config channels, and we can see here channel 1, 2, 3, and so forth. They're all set up to react to MIDI channel 1. At first, I was planning to have MIDI channel 1 here on the rhythmical part, and then MIDI channel 2 here on the more tonal part, and divide them up like so, like rhythm and tonal. Now, I might still do that, but as for now, I'm controlling all of the tracks on the same MIDI channel, and I'm planning to control this on a different MIDI channel. However, this little guy here, is not emitting on MIDI channel 1. This is emitting on MIDI channel effects control channel, which is set to 14 at the moment. So MIDI channel 1, 1, 1, mod wheel, breath controller, pitch bend, MIDI channel 14, and then the corresponding CC value to control the delay feedback. If we were to go in here, I'm going to make a tutorial on this actually soon, because I really love this. I enjoy this. If we go into this one and go into edit, when I edit this channel here, we can see what I've done. So MIDI channel 14, CC number 24, and I've set a minimum value and a maximum value. So I figured that most of my sets, they have a feedback value of, let's check it out, feedback value of 67. And this value here is a little bit weird. It goes to 198, which is a kind of odd number in MIDI land. So I need to convert the kind of 127 CC value into something that goes to effectively 200. And I figured that a minimum value of 43 equals, on this scale, 67, and a maximum value of 80 in the CC land is 125 in this one. So if this level is straight up, that means gain, the feedback is constant. It's not growing, it's not falling off. So that would be around here. And I figure that I will never go this high. Never this high either. It's too fast, too dangerous. It can spin out of control too quickly. So I feel like, yeah, 128.5. That is a nice, let's listen to it. It grows, but I still have time to catch it. It doesn't spin out of control like this. Like, that is really dangerous. Oh, sorry. Just for illustration purposes, don't do that. Feedback can be kind of hard. But in some of the songs, 67 is not my base value. In some patterns, I have another value, and then I just try to memorize that. Like in this song, the feedback is set a little higher, and then I just memorize that and listen to what's going on. And if I change it, and then I change it back, maybe I just reload it instead, to make sure I'm kind of landing back at the same value that it was saved and produced. Yeah. So let's check some other sounds here. How about this sound? I think that's a fun example. So I'm experimenting a little bit, messing it up. So I wanted to continue to mess it up. So let's listen to what I did there. Basically, this is kind of bringing it to the front. Now it's kind of in the background, lifting it to the front. How about the next one? Not doing that much. I figured like if I do too much on this particular sound, it doesn't serve any purpose. So just kept it, just a slight volume boost. And this one. This is bonkers, because now I'm actually, this is grid sound. So take a look at the grids where we're playing. So I'm jumping back and forth in the grid. It's not a sound that is made to be on a grid. I just figured out when I made the song that, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Made it really tight grid. And once I started doing this and jumping in the grid, I felt like, wow, that really is a crazy expression. Just a little hint of chaos, the accent, but together with kick drum. again. Okay, next pattern. Keeping the feedback high. Yeah, it's a work in progress, and it's easy to overdo anything you do. It's easy to kind of just crank it up to 11 and never look back. But I think it's good to look back and be aware of what you're doing, and make sure there is a musical intent in the expression you're going for. Yeah. All right. So have prepared like one little pattern of another song. Let's say this is Larcy, so the song is coming from here, this song. So without these rigged. It's called Larcy, and I really enjoy this song. I wanted to go for something a bit unusual and a bit free-spirited, a bit kind of airy and carefree in a way. As I came into having laid out some beats, and it all sounded very cool, and I kind of felt like should be some sort of rap on top of that. But then I felt like, no, let's whistle. And once I hit the whistle, it just brought me so much joy. So I just went for it. Started recording whistling samples. Let's listen to. So here. Yeah, a lot of fun, but I didn't record all the notes that I needed, so I had to be really precise with the sequencing. Like I really enjoy sequencing human samples. You can clearly hear it's edited, but I really enjoy that kind of expression. Yeah, so what I've done is copy one of the patterns to a separate location. and started to rig that pattern isolated. And at the first time I did that, I kind of copied over the behavior from the previous song that was already rigged, but I felt like, no, this is not kind of fitting the vibes, and it sounded like this. I felt like it was going too aggressive, and this song doesn't want to be aggressive. So I made another attempt, and this is where I'm at right now. This is in real time where I'm at with kind of rigging the new songs. And it sounds like this now. And it's not done, and when you start out, there's so many, all doors are open. There's so much you can do. Everything is open, and what to do, don't know. So you got to start somewhere. So far I kind of started out with the bass and kick drum. And instead of going with that crunchiness, I'm doing a very short filter sweep. So I've got the filter here set up and the envelope. What I'm doing is I'm increasing, let's bring it up. So filter, set up, modulation wheel, here we see it. So I'm bringing the bit reduction up to get some texture. Sorry, this one, all right. So I'm bringing the bit reduction up a little bit, just a tad, to bring some texture into this kick drum. Because if there is texture in it, I can use the filter envelope and hear the whole sweep. If there's no texture, I can't really hear the sweep that much. It's not pronounced. But if there's a lot of noise in it, like, then we hear it. And filter envelope, bringing that up, and the filter frequency, bringing that way down, so that the envelope can be heard, and then the resonance of the filter as well. How about this one? You can hear that, the breath controller, doing a little very modest modulation. And some reverb, some bit reduction, and bringing the filter bass up a little bit to strip it of some bass. Just very little together. How about pitch bend? Let's see, pitch bend. I tune it up and send a little reverb. No sample rate reduction, and also use the modulation 1 depth, and we can kind of hear what that is doing. It's doing a pitch automation. Together with the hi-hat. And this is where I did it. I kind of introduce one after the other, see that they play together, because one controller will control all of the tracks in this case. So I want to take all of the combined tracks into a place where it's fun. So if we go to the hi-hat, kind of similar theme there, doing a filter envelope. But also the filter envelope in this case has a slow start. I thought it was fun. Call it Hattori, Hachi. All right. Breath control. Massive pitch bend, and yeah, how about pitch bend then? Automation on the pitch bend. And it's actually a randomized pitch LFO together. So to make accents, how about the snare drum? Maybe too much on that. Let's see. Same thing there. A filter sweep. Envelope. Thin and crunchy. Maybe too crunchy. Also bringing up the pitch, making it a little bit wobbly. Right. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So let's keep going. What do we have here? Nothing. So let's go to bass. This is an FM synth bass. I'm actually starting it a tiny bit into the sound. As you can see here, the start parameter, is slightly into the sound to kind of avoid this heavy, this kind of Sega Mega Drive bass sound. Make a bit smoother entry into the sample. But this one, this mod wheel, sets the starting point back. So we have this original starting point. What else is, so let's see, starting point is going back. Mod 2 depth. What is that? Let's check it out. Mod 2 is doing a filter width, so it's doing something with the top of the multi-filter. So I'm sliding the low cut filter down, because if I didn't do that, it had a lot of frequencies in the tail of the sound. It was a bit too pronounced because I was introducing a lot of bit reduction. So I needed to counter the bit reduction somehow. Yeah? It's pretty cool. This. And the whistling. Listen to this. Vibrato. I didn't want to do too much to the whistling because it should be kind of recognizable the way it is. So this is already kind of pushing it a bit too far away. But this is fun. Whistling. Yeah. Yeah. So let's start from scratch with one of the other songs. Let's see which one. Which one's this? Yeah, this one is not set up. Let's see. Maybe this pattern. This one. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. Sorry, this pattern. Head over to my experimental ground. Place it over here. Oop. Yeah. Let's do the same thing. Start with a kick drum. So the question now, I'm going to save this so I can return. The question is, what do I want to do with the kick? Let's see. Just going to try some look around. Yeah. That might be something. Let's try it out. Modulation wheel. And set it up to be filter resonance. Let's try that first. Beefing up the resonance of the bass currently. Filter, a second one. Frequency, bring it up. Too much. Let's listen to the song again. I don't think this is a good idea for a bass drum. Let's try the effects. Or maybe, okay, let's try this one. Attack time. Slow attack. That's an interesting idea. Maybe not here. So if I were to boost it instead, I could go to overdrive. Maybe it's already heavily overdriven. How about bit? Maybe reduce the where are we? Reduce reverb send. And resonance up. Maybe do something with a sample. Sample start. Let's see. Oh wow. I don't even know what sample it is. Is it? Ooh, it's a grid sample. Okay, I'm not playing it as a grid, so that would be interesting. I'm going ahead into some other samples. Let's see. Modulation. Can I see the end of the next, or the beginning of the next sample? That is messy. Sure, that's not good. Okay, let's do what I did in the previous sound. I did a filter sweep, but here, oh yeah, maybe I'll change the type. That could be kind of interesting. Yeah, let's do that. So filter and modulation. Oh, I reset everything. It's okay. So we go to filter type. Go to this and then overdrive. Is overdrive after the filter? Can be. I'm not sure how it's set up currently. Yeah, how about that? So changing from high pass to low pass while also boosting overdrive. And then also, let's see if this is a good or bad idea. You never know until you try it sometimes. Bit reduction. Okay. I'll do something to mute this then. Okay, let's see. Just gonna try and do the filter width. It's kind of boring, but nah, it's not good enough. Okay, let's do this instead. I'm trying. Yeah, let's do that. That was kind of fun. I did in the other sound. Okay, so I'm setting up kind of the behavior of the filter envelope, and then I'm kind of dialing it back to a starting point. And now I'm gonna head into setup, and we're still in modulation wheel, yeah. And I'm gonna lower the frequency and raise the envelope depth. Okay. Also send to reverb. How about that? It's a short reverb. All right, let's isolate. Yeah. I'm figuring out, like, if I'm doing like send to delay as well. It will be everywhere. But I'm thinking, like, if I set up, oh no, it's all used up. Maybe this one. If I set this up, an LFO to send to delay. There we go. Delay send. Slower. Maybe faster. Random. Yeah, this is bipolar, so it's going up and down, positive and negative values. So if the effect is set to value already, no, right? So sorry. So now we've got LFO 2 set up to do this, and modulation wheel. Instead of doing effect send, we're doing modulation 2 depth. So it will randomly send to the delay more. Okay. That's kind of cool. Is this? What's this doing? Oh yeah, that's right. It was so messy, so I put this as a filler. Let's see. See. All right. So maybe this time, instead of doing this total chaos, not sure. Should it do like this? Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm now risking it to keep the resonance a little high, even in its kind of resting position. That might come back and bite me when I hear this on a bigger system, because high frequencies might be more pronounced in a big system. So it's safer to set it to 0, the resonance. But in the headphones, I can't hear. Yeah, I think it's fine. Set up modulation wheel again. So let's go to filter. It's just a frequency. Yeah, this is nice. How about maybe delay as well? It's kind of breaking my principles, because delay is usually on this one. It's good to be kind of consistent somehow. But I'm gonna break my principles and see if it feels good. Let's go. Delay send. maybe reverb. And I'm actually going to save the delay for pitch bend. Let's do that first. Just rig it up into place. Sometimes you don't have to fill up all the 4 slots of modulation. Just make whatever feels good. Delay send. Yeah, that's good. So what should this do then? Breath controller. So we got filter, delay, crunch, shorter. What's the amp like? What should we do? How about backwards? Is that fun? Can't really hear it. No, it's so short, can't really appreciate that. Maybe a behavior, an LFO behavior. Yeah, how about, that's simple, but maybe. Gonna see if yeah, how about a panning? That's kind of trippy. All right, let's do that. So we're at an LFO 3, setup, breath controller, LFO 3, depth. Oh, too much. And then maybe even also send it to a chorus. See what that's at. I'm not sure if it's fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of in the spirit, I'd say. Yeah, it's getting lengthy, but this is the process I'm going through for every single pattern, basically, because one pattern might sound like one way, and then I go to the next pattern, and I might have made some changes. But what I do, once I've settled on something, so this kick drum, it's not fully there yet. So this one, let's say, I've rigged it completely on both mod wheel, breath controller, pitch bend. And now I save it. This is what I should do early in the process. If I save it very early, then I can keep bringing that patch with me. But now I haven't saved any patches, to be honest. I made 4 whole songs ready for performance. I haven't saved any patches. So now it's going to be a little bit of a hassle to retroactively go in there, into every pattern and replace all the patches with patches that I've saved, or copy them over, and make sure that local mixing is respected on all the tracks and so forth. So it's a good idea to do this early, but then again, once you start out, you don't really know what to do. You don't know what you're going to express. So yeah, maybe this is just the way it has to be. This step has to come in late, and it's going to have to be a hassle. So this one, let's save it. Boop, save, preset. And I'm keeping all of my patches on bank B at the moment. Here we go. So and I can preview them with automation and everything. So we're here. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna call this, actually, hold on a second. It's a version of this pace masher. It's a version of that, but differently mixed. So I'm gonna call it pace basher. Yeah, it's gonna. What is the sound? It is texture and glitch. Save. Cool. And then I go forth and do that on all of the tracks. Save all the patches, and there we go. Ready to go? Well, we are not ready to go. This requires many hours of work, and also I need to kind of revise the ideas. One thing that I have to say though, working with a sampler again, it's been a while since I worked with a sampler. I've been working with primarily the Digitone and Digitone 2 for some time, and with a synthesizer, there is much more you can do with the sounds. You can break them out and express the sounds in all sorts of directions. But with a sampler, you don't create the sound. You already have a sound. So there's not as many things you can do with a sample as there is with a synthesizer. So with a synthesizer, you can do very unexpected things while doing control all and tweaking sounds. So I felt like it was a bit of a challenge to go back to samples and to tweak the samples in creative ways. So that is something I have to kind of fight all the time when I'm working with samples. How can I be a bit more creative with the samples? And I think there are ways, but not as with a synthesizer. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this weird video. And I hope you gained a little insight in the process and where I'm at, and how I'm working with rigging the sounds to be responsive to controls. I think it's really good to do that. One thing that I left out completely is, so we checked out breath control, modulation wheel, and pitch bend. There's also aftertouch. It's a little bit tricky to access because not every controller has aftertouch on its own as a parameter, but as a part of a note. But pressing a note will kill the note already playing. So aftertouch could be tricky to find a controller that can send only aftertouch with no note. But velocity mod is something I'm doing very often. But in this case, I haven't set it up, which is a little bit stupid. But when I produced all these songs, I did all of this modulation, kind of velocity modulation on the sequencer with parameter locks. I think that was a little bit sloppy of me to do that, but yeah, velocity modulation also very, very good place to make changes. Yeah, well, thank you again, and thank you everyone for supporting me on Patreon. That is a lifesaver for me. I was gonna say a deal breaker, but a lifesaver for everyone supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much for that. I know this year I've been kind of, I wouldn't say on the decline, but I've struggled a lot of keeping up making stuff, and because I moved and now have my home studio instead of a studio where I go to. I don't feel like alone in my studio here, and that is not a good thing. I want to be alone and nobody can disturb me. So here at home, it's always a challenge. It's more in my mind, I think, than in reality. But just knowing that at any time I can be interrupted, that is challenging for me. That means that I'm kind of avoiding going into these longer stretches, but I just need to kind of put that aside and say, hey, that is just all in your head. Just go on the long journeys, and if you need to stay in that state, just stay there. But just knowing that the cat wants to come in, the cat wants to go out, my partner wants help with something, and my son comes home, and all of that is kind of throwing me off. And for me, a whole day of work is like a slow start, and then it ramps up. But if this slow start gets cut off here, it's kind of back to the slow start again, and I never kind of ramp up. That is my challenge, and I haven't really I haven't landed like a good way of tackling that. But this video today, it's the first way of kind of going into that direction of tackling this. And yeah, I think I would love a bigger studio again here, because I really like it here where I live now. But I don't have the money to just create a studio out of the blue. And if I were to rent a studio here in the countryside, maybe I had to drive there every morning. Maybe it wouldn't take me like that long, but still, just driving to the studio I don't really vibe with that, but we'll see. I'll keep you posted with all of that. Yeah. Just a short word. I haven't talked about my setup here, but Digitone, Digitact, normally going into the mixer where I can adjust the volume and mute, and also I've rigged bass EQ on the lowest here, so I can very quickly control the bass EQ, which I think is the most important. And then this one, I'm actually recording straight from the headphones output to this, because this is just for recording and documenting performances. So I can record in 3 tracks, like the Digitact, the Digitone, and the mic. So just catching the vibe with the mic. Yeah, and this is like the master, and it's all Velcro. Everything is Velcro, so everything is like super tight, which is so much fun. And this is my little box of, let's see, can I open it without, I'm not sure. No. It's extenders and converters from jack to RCA, and from RCA to jack. So I've come to play on DJ mixes sometimes and like realizing I don't have any RCA cables. Never again. So I'm all set with RCA converters. All right. Yeah. I hope you're all good, everyone. Maybe I went too much into kind of gear mode and into kind of nerd mode and just focus on this, but I'm talking to you, and as with this very lengthy, weird intro. Yeah, it's important, I think, to have a conversation, a dialogue between humans, especially in these times. AI becomes more and more present, and you spend more time talking to AI than to other humans, which is sad. Yeah. So, human to human, thanks so much for coming here and staying with me for this time and watching this video. And yeah, even though this is a video that is being just put on playback, I feel, especially when I come to a place like Super Booth, where I meet a lot of people in that creative space, meet a lot of you, and I feel like it's not a one-way communication. This is a dialogue. We are a group of people. There is a community, and I feel all of that very, very much when I meet so many people at a place like Super Booth and Bristronica, Makina Bristronica, even the NAM show, even if it's like very, very big and kind of corporate, I kind of feel it even there. So, what I'm trying to say, I'm not sure. The value in all of this is something that we humans can pinpoint, and it doesn't have to be put into words, I think. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. More videos to come very soon. I think I'm gonna continue with this set. Kind of. I have 4 songs. I think I have 4 or 5 or even 6 more songs that I can kind of take to the goal, to the finishing line, and that would probably be a new album. All right. If you want to support me, you know where to go. Patreon. Go to my store, my web store, where you can buy patches and sample packs and fill your samples with my sounds. And this material here is on a record, on a vinyl, which I'm very proud of as well. Cool. I'm gonna say goodbye and see you very soon. Just realizing, of course, that the camera was zoomed in here, so when I was pointing to these things, it was out of frame. So this here mixer, yeah, going into the mixer, this the recorder going into the recorder, and MIDI going into here. I'm planning to go MIDI through into here to kind of take this here, and maybe even a game control. We'll see. Right. Sorry about that. I'm a human. I make mistakes. All right. Peace.